consistency over intensity. The thing that I think people miss the most in building a healthy, strong body is valuing consistency over intensity. I think too many times we go for that quick burn, the one that really gets your adrenaline going, and think that that's where the value lies. But the more consistent you are, the better impact it's going to have on your nervous system, and the better you're going to digest food and burn fat. So a good way to look at consistency over intensity is if you go and burn yourself out with a 60-minute workout, a 60-minute workout, a 60-minute workout, that's 3 in a row. Then for the next 3 days, because you've been so stressed out trying to fit that 60-minute workout in, you're tired the next day, you have work demands, you have family demands. So you're like, you know what? I missed the rest of the week. So instead of doing that 60 minutes for 3 days and burning out, you can get that 30-minute for 6, even 7 days. And that math will always work, is that if you focus on getting short, comfortable workouts that you can keep up and keep doing over time, you're going to end up working out more than when you did doing those long burning out workouts. I remember one day there was this girl that I was with, and she very presumably said, you work out just so you could have abs. And I'm like, no, that's not the reason why I work out. That's not the reason why I eat the way I do. That's not the reason why I focus on rest. It's all just to develop in an alignment with my intuition and to make sure that I feel good. I think when you focus more on being in alignment with yourself, how do you feel? How does this food make you feel? How does the workout make you feel? How does stress make you feel? When you start to develop a true connection with yourself, you start to feel more energized, you have less inflammation, you have less joint pain. These are the things that will allow you to do more work. And then the aesthetics become a byproduct of that. I think too many times people focus on the aesthetics in working out, the aesthetics of a diet, the aesthetics of a whole wellness routine. When if you just focus on that connection and alignment with yourself and feeling good, then the aesthetics will come. But it never works in reverse. If you focus on the aesthetics and don't worry about how you feel, eventually you're not going to be able to continue. But if you focus on how you feel, do you have high energy? Are you not feeling bloated? Are you constipated? All these things that you're focusing on in terms of yourself, if that is the focal point, you're going to naturally get to where you want to be aesthetically. So I've done so many workshops in the past where I'm talking about connecting with yourself. I'm talking about regulating your nervous system. I'm talking about all the little small and soft wins that will help your body become a fat burning machine. At the end, so many times like, yeah, but what can I do tomorrow? I need what's the thing? Okay, so I found there's 3 things that you could employ or incorporate into your life instantly that will make a difference if you haven't been doing it before. One is learning the value of walks. Anytime you can go on a 20 to 30 minute walk, even if it's first thing in the morning, I would say preferably first thing in the morning, where you can really put your body into that fat burning zone. Learn the value of walking 20 to 30 minutes, de-stressing, allowing your body to get into that fat burning zone. I think that's really valuable. The second thing is just eating whole foods. One time I'm doing a workshop and somebody was talking about calorie counting. I'm like, okay, well, you could say that a bag of Skittles has less calories than an avocado. So is it really about calorie counting, or is it just about eating whole foods? When you eat that bag of Skittles, it's not really going to have any nutritional value. It's not going to allow your body to operate the way that it will in order to maximize fat burn and maximize energy. But that avocado will. So the second thing I always tell people to focus on is eating more whole foods, forgetting about anything processed and those colorful packages with a bunch of ingredients. The third thing is, if you're doing any training, a mixture between resistance training and cardio. So when it comes to your actual workout, instead of spending all day lifting or all day running, a nice little blend of functional training works great. I'm talking about just doing some squats, followed with some push-ups, and then some jumping jacks. Right? So these 3 little tips I think could make a huge difference in anybody's routine. Learning the value of walks, first thing in the morning fasting, and the second thing is learning the value of whole foods rather than counting calories so you could turn your body into a fat burning machine. And the third thing is just mixing up your workout routine, cardio, resistance training. Think of food as wood to the fire. So if your body or your metabolism is fire, if you put soggy, unhealthy wood on that fire, eventually that fire is going to burn out. That's what happens when you're eating Snickers and Skittles and processed foods. If you don't put any wood, so then people say, well, you know what? I'm not going to put any wood on. I'm not going to eat anything. Now you're sending your body to starvation mode. And when it's in starvation mode, it's going to start storing fat. So it's not about starving yourself, and it's not about counting calories. It's about putting the right wood on the fire. When you're putting whole foods, foods that actually benefit your metabolism, then you're gonna see your body starts turning into a fat burning machine. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give me a follow. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave it. I want to make sure I try and get to everybody.